The Tesla Model 3 refresh, codenamed Project Highland, is coming, and the question that I've seen asked the most is, should I wait? Is it worth passing up the deals right now on current Model 3s for all the new features, redesign, new battery, etc. coming with the next generation Model 3 platform? My name's Jeremiah, and that's exactly what we're going to be talking about in this video, so let's get into it. Now, if you're watching this video, then that means that you're probably more involved in the Tesla community than most. You've more than likely seen a picture or two or heard a few rumors about the refreshed Model 3, but if the leaks are to be believed, that doesn't even scratch the surface of what's coming. Highland is going to be the most significant refresh of an existing model in the history of Tesla. But before we get into discussing whether you should wait or not, let's talk about all of those leaks and rumors that have been floating around. And yes, I do normally stray away from leaks here on the channel, but we're kind of at that point now. You know how every year around August, we know 80% of what's coming with the new iPhone because it's so close to releasing? That's kind of where we're at with Highland right now. Tesla is literally testing it on public roads, so I mean, they can't really keep it a secret anymore. So starting out with what most people have seen, the exterior refresh. Over the past 6+ months, there have been dozens, if not hundreds, of sightings of Model 3s with manufacturer plates driving around with covers on the entire front and rear ends. And while people were busy speculating like crazy, someone, presumably an employee, just walked up to the car, took the cover off, and took a picture. Thank you, whoever you are, for taking one for the team. I assume if you are an employee, you're no longer employed there. So new front bumper and headlights. Now, while looks are very subjective, I actually do like the new front end. At first, I hated it, but it's grown on me, probably because it started to kind of resemble the Roadster to me. I mean, they definitely did take design cues from the Roadster, so all around, I don't hate it. Now, as for the rear end, as far as I'm aware, there are no legitimate pictures of it yet, at least. However, because it's illegal to drive around with the rear end completely covered on public roads because, well, people need to be able to see if you're turning or not with turn signals and, if you're braking, we are able to see that the taillights will at least be different. A video showing the new vertical turn signals versus the current horizontal ones has surfaced, leading to people creating renders to what it might look like. And well, to be honest with you, I could care less what the taillights look like as long as NA cars continue to have amber turn signals like they do now and they don't revert back to red turn signals. So for the exterior, redesigned front end, and something is changing with the rear end. Now for the interior. From what we've heard, the interior refresh is going to make the Model 3 feel much closer to the redesigned S/X. This includes the removal of stocks in favor of touchscreen to go into drive, reverse, etc., along with touch capacitive buttons on the steering wheel. We have seen drone shots of Highland being tested with an S/X circular wheel and the driver using the screen to select the desired gear. Speaking of the wheel, a yoke is more than likely going to be offered as an option. This was mentioned by Tesla Scope, and it's not really surprising. The aftermarket yoke scene for 3s and Ys is pretty big, and the original mock-up from Tesla of the Model 3 shows a yoke, like the paper that you get on delivery day. It shows the Model 3 with a yoke. Tesla has also patented a new steer-by-wire system as reported by multiple sources. This is a pretty big deal, especially for yokes, as it could offer different steering ratios at various speeds, eliminating hand-over-hand actions, which is the biggest complaint about the yoke. Now, the final 3 things relating to the interior, and these are definitely the most exciting. First is the long-awaited ventilated seats. A video has surfaced of what appears to be a Model 3 seat with perforation holes, which are needed for cooling, and a Tesla-branded cooling fan on the bottom. I still can't believe that Tesla is selling $50,000 vehicles that don't have cooled seats, but hopefully that changes soon. Second is ambient lighting as reported by Tesla Scope. As far as I know, there have been no videos or photos, but multiple sources have said it is coming, and all images and videos that we've seen of Highland's interior has, well, the entire interior covered up, like from head to toe. You literally can't see anything. Also, apparently the S and X are getting ambient lighting around the time that Highland gets revealed/released. And lastly, for the interior, a rear screen. All that we've heard is it's been experimented with. Now, if there's one thing on this kind of list that I just don't think is actually going to happen, it's definitely the rear screen. It just seems like a stretch, especially for a non-family oriented car, where the probability of having rear passengers is much lower versus like a Y or an X. I don't know. I would just like to see the telemetry data of like the usage of the rear screen because, to be honest, I don't think it really gets used that much. And we know Tesla likes to remove things that they say don't get used that much. But I mean, if it does come, well then great. Now, the last thing to talk about under the hood, I guess you could say. First, the elephant in the room, Hardware 4. If you're unaware, all S's, X's, and Y's coming out of Fremont and Austin are currently equipped with Hardware 4. The only one missing is the 3, and well, it's pretty obvious as to why. It's being held for the release of Highland. If you haven't been keeping up with Hardware 4, excluding the advancements to FSD, it brings a slew of other improvements. Better camera quality and frame rate, which is what I would be most excited about, along with radar as confirmed via people literally taking their cars apart. Though the radars are only being seen in the S and X and aren't actually doing anything, apparently some people have said that they're only in there because Tesla is comparing data with their vision-based system. But radar might not even be needed in the front bumper if this next leak is to be believed. A brand new camera in the front bumper. This was also reported via Tesla Scope, and it makes a lot of sense. Elon has said multiple times that cameras and a neural network is all you really need for full self-driving because, well, humans have 2 eyes and a brain, and well, you just need cameras and a brain or a neural network. And while I don't personally care that much about FSD, if it means an additional view for Sentry and Dashcam and an improvement to non-USS cars parking sensors, then I'm all for it. Yeah, bring on the front bumper camera. That's a big plus in my book. And finally, a bigger battery in the rear-wheel drive Model 3 as reported by multiple sources. Rear-wheel drive Model 3s currently have a 60 kilowatt-hour battery pack, up from the original 55, but that is expected to increase to 66 kilowatt hours. A 10% gain equating to roughly 30 more miles and putting it at the 300 mile EPA rating. A 300 mile EPA rating for the base Model 3 would be huge for Tesla, in my opinion. For some reason, 300 is just the magic number for most people, and it wouldn't be 50 grand. Like, yes, you can get a 300 mile car from Tesla currently, but it's going to cost you around 50 grand. And even if it doesn't actually get 300 miles in the real world, people that do buy it will realize that, well, they don't actually need 300 miles. I originally purchased a long range because I thought I needed all that range, but after realizing that you don't need that because you wake up every day with like a full tank anyway, it just... Yeah, I mean, you all know what happened. I sold the long range for something that had less range. But yeah, a 300 mile base Model 3 would be phenomenal. And if for some reason you still don't believe that a significant refresh is coming for the Model 3 even after all the leaks and sightings, Tesla is literally tearing down the Fremont production line and updating it. If it was just a few new or updated things here and there, they'd just add that into the production line and or make some small changes, but no, like they are completely redoing it. So yeah, something big is 100% coming, that we can all agree on. But now for the question, should you wait? And well, to answer that question, you kind of need to ask yourself a few questions. The first question is, do you need a car right now? The timeline for when Highland will release is all over the place. Employees, though in different kind of parts of the company, stating 1 to 3 months to end of this year into early 2024. So if you absolutely need a car right now, you cannot wait. It has to be a Model 3. You can't bump up to a base Model Y, as we'll discuss in just a second. Then yes, the current Model 3 platform is phenomenal. I love my Model 3. Plus, most of them are on discount if purchased through existing inventory. But if you answered that you could wait, well, the next question you need to ask is, how long can you wait? Are you able to wait till end of Q3 or Q4, as Tesla tends to sweeten the deal by offering some incentives or even bigger discounts toward their end of quarter pushes. So even if Highland doesn't end up coming by the time that you absolutely need a car, at least you'll be getting a better deal. Now, I also want to mention value, as there are some people out there that do take that into account when buying. As we saw with the Model S and X refresh, current Model 3s will drop in value when Highland launches. So if you're the type of person to put a lot of money down to never have to, worry about gap insurance or being underwater, well, yeah, maybe just wait till Highland. In fact, I know some people that are selling their Model 3s right now and buying Ys in preparation for Highland. If they were to wait until Highland releases and then trade in their Model 3, they would get a lot less money for it if they just sold it now, bought a Y temporarily, and then traded that in for the refreshed Model 3. If I was in the shoes of someone right now that wanted a Model 3, but they had to get a car right now and they really wanted it to be a Tesla, I would get a base Model Y and inventory on a discount, wait it out till Highland comes, and then if Highland comes and you like all the new features, then trade it in, get a better value compared to if you were to buy a Model 3 right now and then try to trade that in for Highland. And yeah, that's genuinely what I would do. Now, for anyone wondering what I'm doing personally, because I mentioned people selling their Model 3s and trading them in for Ys in preparation for Highland, I'm not doing that. I plan to keep my Model 3 literally till the wheels fall off, mainly because I just want to make high mileage content with it. That's genuinely what I want to do with the car. So I'm not getting rid of my Model 3. That is, of course, unless they offer like a Model 3 Plaid. But enough of what I think. Let me know what you think down below. Like if someone walked up to you and asked, is right now a good time to buy a current Model 3? What would you say and your reasoning behind it? I also want to take a quick second to give a big shout out to everyone that has used my referral link for purchasing their Tesla. This is my first time mentioning it in a video. I kind of just added it to the links down below, not really expecting anyone to use it, and people have started buying their cars through there. So thank you all so much. If you are considering purchasing a Tesla and my videos have helped you out and you do want to support the channel at no cost to you, then consider using my referral down below. Now, if you are new around here and you want to see more Tesla related content like this video, then feel free to subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Consider dropping a like if you enjoyed the video, as it really helps out the channel, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.